In this video, we're taking a look at the games filtering option of KeepaScore. Now, the games filter can be found right up here in the corner of the games list. At any given time, you are always able to filter out and see whatever information you need to see, although with the scorecard and the scorecard scanning features, you're always able to load a particular match, inclusive of however many games are in that match, in KeepaScore quite easily. But let's take a look at our filtering options. So when we select on our filter, we are able to always filter out based on match ID or match number. So you can see right here that all of these games, this is a best of 5, are all found within match number 1. If, for example, I wanted to see match number 2 or match number 3, 4, whatever it is, just put that number in and it will bring that value up. This comes into play most often when you are coordinating with multiple people inputting scores, and your event game data is always coming in. If you look at your visual bracket, the bracket itself has the match number right there indicated on each of the spots. So that's match 6, this is match 5, there we've got match 4. So if, for example, a scorecard came in, that scorecard has the match number on it. If you wanted to see all of the information specific to that match, you can use the game filter. Although when you've scanned that match, any particular match that is selected, if I was to select on any one of match 2 here, I'm always able to cycle through all of those individual games, which we can see that the little icon right there of the versus, that's what's actually indicating for us which in the game list is actually selected. So 1, 2 was off screen. I can see right there as it moves. Now, if I wanted to be able to find any particular match based on the names of the players versus the teams, then the option that I'm looking for is this right here. If I am using teams within KeepaScore, then I can turn on that toggle right there. If I do that, the filter is going to use the team names versus the player names. Let's take a look at an example. If I switch back to showing the player names only, and if, for example, I wanted to be able to see everybody that was Beth Mercer, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select right here, and hoping that she is the only one with the last name of Mercer, I can put in Mercer, hit return, and it will actually find the 15 games that she has played. You can also, or that she is scheduled to play, or the 15 games across however many matches she's playing that she could play. You can also see that we have our filters, where we have the unfinished game, unlocked games, and in progress games, some of which may only show on the tournament edition. But if I have team names assigned, then that team names switch has to be turned on. So within our filter, which we can always see is active based on the dark icon, if we clear that by clicking the reset right there, it brings back all of our 30 games. If in the teams area, we have opted to use actual team names, which in this case, with these 4 players, it's more convenient to use team names. We can see that we have the option down here at the bottom of the auto rename teams. What happens is as you make changes to your teams where players come on and off, or you're making settings adjustments, we always want that to be reflective of the players. Very common within a 2-player event. Maybe you're replacing a particular player. This option renames the teams. If we turn this off, which is a setting on a event by event basis, and we rename the team by making the selection from the edit right there, what we're going to see is that we're able to use the game filter to filter as well. We'll call these guys the Big Dinkers. And we'll continue. You can also see that we have the option to force last names, which is the default. And we'll name our second team right here. We'll select that one and just name them as well. We'll call them Smashers. So with those two as an example, when we make our selection down here at the bottom, You can see that Big Dinkers and Smashers is now used instead of the last names, and the filter will apply to that. So if I put in Dinkers, it's going to filter out those 15 games with just the Big Dinkers, and the Smashers likewise. And there is their 15 games. Another feature of the filter is based on the icon that you click. Now, this only applies to the playgroup format or the dynamic format that KeepaScore supports. Go watch the video about the playgroups and how they are used. But here in a bracketed game, if I make a selection on this icon, it is going to bring up all of the games specific to that particular match. You can see that all of match 1 is currently being shown. If we switch and clear my filter over here, and let's say I wanted to see all of the match 2, and I'm going to switch just to the names of the players playing that match. When that game is being played, or has been finished, the icon will be available. At this particular point in time, this particular game has not been played. No scores have been entered. I can always see that by the warning icon. If I click on the warning icon, it will tell me what the warning is. In this case, I've got scores missing. But if this game was actually completed and scores had been entered, I would have the same lock icon that we see. And when I click on that icon on a bracketed event, it will bring up just those games in that particular match. In the dynamic format, it will filter specific to those icons. And again, go watch that video.